Hi, I'm Sil Reynolds.
And I'm Eliza Reynolds. And this is We Thrive TV, on-the-go answers from the ultimate mother-daughter dynamic duo.
That's us. You ask the questions and we answer every other week.
And this week, we're talking about fat. Yes, fat on the body, and how in our society, in our culture, especially in the culture of preteen and teenage girls, fat on the body has become a place of obsession. Whether you've heard about the thigh gap obsession, you probably couldn't have avoided hearing about that, right? The obsession with many teenage girls in online communities and social media. And women. I mean, it extends. I'm focusing in here on teenage girls, on having a gap between your thighs so that your thighs don't rub. Wherever it comes up, that's just one example. Fat is a place that we are directly and indirectly obsessed with in our culture, and in a really negative way. One of the ways that we often talk about it is that fat has become a dirty word. It's become a curse word. It's like fat is so negative in our culture.
So in Mothering and Daughtering, we feel very, very passionate about this topic because women and girls suffer over this word and suffer over this phenomenon that there's some kind of perfect body. So we want to teach you moms about fat today, because fat actually is adipose tissue, okay? It does all these incredible things like protect our organs, and it cushions us. It is made by that amazing female hormone, estrogen. And there's such magic about fat. And yet, what's our connotation when we think of that word? And fat is a nutrient. It's actually one of the 4 macronutrients. Now, I'm not a nutritionist, but I have learned quite a bit over the years about nutrition and about this topic of fat, because women and girls are so obsessed with it. So we want to reclaim this notion that it's natural that women and girls have more fat than boys. We have curvaceous bodies, that they're beautiful, and that that might sound like impossible, right? Like, I tell my daughter she's beautiful, and she just says, "Mom, I'm fat," right?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that happens in our society is that we have a misunderstanding that actually it's really natural and healthy that right before puberty and even during puberty, when a girl is getting ready to get her period or she's getting ready to kind of shoot up and get a lot taller, she's often going to gain a little weight. And that's actually a healthy and exciting sign. It means that her body's changing, it's becoming a young woman's body. And often what happens in our society is because we're so focused on fat and skinny being the new healthy, is that when she gains that natural weight, the little softness, she'll often begin to try and get rid of it.
So I have this incredible inspiration from a friend who actually...
I love the story.
He's actually a nutritionist, and when her daughter was in 6th grade and starting to develop a little bit of, I call it like... this padding around the belly, and it's just like this really outdoorsy girl, really like fine with her body and everything. And one day she goes, "Mom, I'm fat." And my beloved friend said, "Fat, terrific. Let me see it. Oh, what a good sign, sweetie.
So exciting."
You're becoming a woman and your body's so intelligent and it's got this fat on it. It's adipose tissue and it's estrogen and it's gonna make you into this beautiful woman. Whoa.
What a radical
departure.
Retelling of the story of what's possible when your daughter says, "I'm fat," or "I feel fat," or "I have fat on my body." Like, to me, that is like such a reclamation and a radical like switch. Like, how exciting. You have fat, your body's so smart, I'm so excited about what's happening, and this is healthy and this is good. Like, whoa.
Yeah, so I know moms, this is gonna require a reframe on your part perhaps, like having like a different relationship with your body. If you're like down on your fat or on your shape, so it's like, it really matters. That you work on this and that you make peace with the beautiful body that is your feminine body.
Yeah.
And
well, could you tell them about some of the research? Because I love some of these research that you've done to understand about why fat is actually good, so that we can understand it more.
Yeah, I became so interested in this topic. Like I said, mothers and daughters, women and girls, like really obsessed with it. And I was really fascinated by the research of the Weston Price Foundation, and that indigenous people from all over the world, over the last tens of thousands of years, they did research about what have we eaten for all these years as human beings. And what they found was that the diets were actually pretty high in fat and protein. And so I'm not necessarily espousing that, but I'm saying, isn't that interesting? Like, fat doesn't make you fat. Fat's a nutrient. And more and more now, research is showing that if you're just eating those really healthy fats and I love Michael Pollan's work. I love his book, Food Rules. It's like a real everyday common sense, kind of fun approach to, easy approach to eating what he calls real food instead of that, the junk food or the processed food. Not that there's anything wrong with eating that too some of the time, but finding a balance and figuring out the kinds of foods that actually nourish our body. And who knew it? Fat is a nutrient and our body requires that.
So I got one last question, because when I talk about fat, I often get asked this, and I'm wondering whether some people are thinking about this. We talk so much in our culture about childhood obesity, and especially obesity in America is, statistically on the rise. It's dangerous. Like, how do we relate to that when, too much fat, quote unquote, is unhealthy, and yet also fat is healthy on the body?
Yeah, I get asked that all the time from moms too. It's a really good question, and because childhood obesity is on the rise, and I think some of that is definitely because of the sedentary lifestyle. Our kids aren't playing outside as much. They're on video games and so on and so forth, not moving their bodies. But aside from that, and the nutrition I was talking about before, fat does not make you fat. Fat is a nutrient. And we need to, I think, one of the ways that we can actually help the trend is by learning that if we have a well-balanced diet, it's really going to help that situation as well.
So here's the bottom line, moms. We as a culture, we as women and girls, and you ladies as mamas, need to reclaim the word fat. And actually the distinction in the dual meaning of fat. One, being fat as tissue on the body, and two, fat being a nutrient. And so often we confuse the two and we put them together, thinking fat creates fat, and even beyond that, fat has come to have cultural negative meanings that are really, really dangerous, because fat is actually really positive and really essential. And so together we want to invite you to be part of what we're doing here, which is starting a new conversation around fat, specifically in the mother-daughter relationship.
So now over to you, mom. Do you want to find your people? I know you do. You want to find those other moms. They're right here in this mothering and daughtering community. I'm so psyched about that. And the collective wisdom rocks. So share your take on this topic.
So what we want to hear from you is, how are you talking to your girl, educating her about how to accept, maybe even love, her naturally curvaceous feminine form, and where fat is showing up in her life? And maybe, how are you educating yourself, taking the steps in your life, so you can then change that for you and pass that on to your daughter?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Head over to the blog and share with us how you're teaching your daughter that fat is not a dirty word. Leave your comments on the comments section below.
Did this video help you? Share the love on Facebook or tweet it out.
Whatever platform you can wrap your head around.
Because sharing is caring, and everyone could use a stronger bond.
So moms, when in doubt, remember, you got this. You totally got this. It's natural to thrive, not just survive, during the preteen, teen years, and beyond.
And we'll see you the week after next on We Thrive TV.
Looking forward.